Am I the a-hole for not also babysitting my brother's friend's kids while on vacation? I, F21, recently went on vacation with my brother, M34, his family, friends, and a few of their siblings. A lot of us grew up together, so vacations like this weren't uncommon, but this is the first one where everyone's kids were also coming along. My brother offered to pay for my whole vacation rather than the half he usually paid if I was willing to help with the kids, M7 and F4, for a day or two so he and his wife, Rose, could get some alone time. I agreed since they're good kids and I help out anytime I'm in the vicinity anyway, as it's not uncommon for our culture. On the first night's dinner, one of my brother's friend's girlfriends, Ally, made an offhand comment about my brother having a vacation nanny while she was fussing with her kid while I was talking to Rose about their plans tomorrow, when she mentioned the kids just staying the night in my room so that they didn't have to wake us up early to leave for their appointment. I agreed since I was watching them tonight anyway. I assumed the problem started there since Ally showed up at my door after dinner trying to drop her kid off. I was fine with it until she told him she would be seeing him tomorrow, and the conversation after went like this. Me, I don't mind him being here for a few hours, but he can't spend the night. Her, but they're spending the night? Me, yes. Her, so why can't he? Me, well, there's no room for him and they're my brother's kids and are used to spending the night with me. We went back and forth a few times and eventually, I just refused overall and apologized to the kid. I've been told a few stories and Ally is the type to just leave her kid anyways, regardless of the conversation, and I didn't feel like tracking her down later. While we were at the pool a few days later, I took the kids to the resort cafe for ice cream and offered to take the other kids. A few of the parents said no, and some of them gave me a weird look, so I asked my friend about it. Apparently at the breakfast the second day, Ally complained about what I did, and a few of them took her side. Later that night at dinner, the wife of my brother's friend asked if I could watch her kid tonight so they could go somewhere, and I said no, explaining that my niece and nephew were with their parents tonight so the younger siblings were all going out. She mentioned that since I was willing to take them earlier for ice cream and since they said no, I owe them. It's not that big of a deal and I can go tomorrow instead. I just said sorry, I can't, and left it there. There were similar situations and eventually, my brother stepped in to say that he paid for my vacation, which is why I took a few days to help him, and that they could chip in if they wanted my help, but I talked to my mom and a few of my friends and they pointed out that my brother actually got to enjoy his vacation unlike the others, and I could have taken, or offering to take the other kids when I was watching my niece and nephew. Next story. Am I the a-hole for lying to my boyfriend what I fed him for dessert? Hi. So I, 24F, have a boyfriend, 24M. I'm from Poland and he's from Spain. Since we met almost 1 year ago, he never tried any Polish food that my family prepared for him. If he just said, no thanks, I would be fine. But he always comments on how disgusting it is, asks how could we even eat that, and he gags for the whole meal. He never even tried that food. We argued about it a few times because I thought that his behavior was unacceptable, but he said that this food was just horrible and he's allowed to have preference. 4 days ago, at a family dinner when my mom asked him if he would like some galabki, Google translates it as cabbage rolls, not sure if it's the same thing. He once again gagged, covered his mouth and said that he could never eat that. I was furious with him and told him to apologize. He refused and there was a tense mood throughout the rest of the lunch. After lunch, it was time for a dessert. My mom made scenic, which is similar to cheesecake, but it's made with cottage cheese. My boyfriend refused to try that before, but this time my mom covered it in chocolate so it looked a little different. When he asked what's that, I quickly said that it was some store-bought cake. My family didn't correct me, and we all ate in peace. My boyfriend even took a second piece. He asked where we bought that. Then I told him that it was scenic that my mom made with cottage cheese. He looked at me a little confused and told my mom it was good. I was happy with the result of my little lie. But on our way home, he started yelling at me. How could I humiliate him like that in front of my family, and how could I lie about what he was going to eat when he already told me that it's disgusting? I asked him what his problem was because he liked the cake, but he said that I didn't respect him and his boundaries, and he did not talk to me until I apologized. It's been 4 days, he's not answering my messages, and I'm having doubts if he's right. Am I the a-hole? He's not allergic, doesn't have any intolerance, and he isn't on a diet that would make him not eat a Cernic BTW. Edit. Oh wow, I didn't expect so many comments in 2 hours. Thank you so much for all of them. Many questions. Why are we together? I study in Spain. Met him at a university and he and his friends are kind of my Spanish family now. He is usually a sweet and funny guy, just not a Polish fan. We visited my family for 2 days, Friday and Saturday, and when we were coming back to Spain he snapped about Cernic. Not sure if I continue this relationship, but it's scary to be alone in a foreign country and lose almost every friend I have now. Is Cernic worth it? He's still an amazing boyfriend who cares about me and lights up my day. If you have ever been in love you would understand the feeling. Still not sure if I should apologize, because his behavior was very childish and disrespectful as many of you said, but lying wasn't the best option, so I think I'm guilty of that. Edit 2. Oh my, this already has over 1,500 comments. I try to read as many as I can but cannot promise anything. Anyway, thanks for the responses. It opened my eyes a lot and made me do some actions. I talked to my parents about this and apologized for bringing him with me and not kicking him out. Also discussed with them his behavior towards me and them. I found out that not only he was disrespectful about the food, but when I went to the toilet and my family tried to engage in a conversation he was just nodding or shaking his head without trying to respond properly. I texted him that we need to talk face to face, and if he's not going to answer me by tomorrow, I'll end it by sending him a message. Do I have another choice? I will apologize for lying about Cernic because I think that's my mistake, but the rest is on his side. Thank you for all your comments. Malagodnaya. Adios. Next story. Am I the a-hole for telling my wife to take time off work if she wants time for herself? My wife, 40F, and I, 39M, have been married for 12 years and have 2 kids, 9 and 7. We both work full-time, but I got promoted about 3 months ago, which required a change to my work hours. I used to have the same standard Monday to Friday hours as my wife, but my new role has me working 10-hour shifts Thursday through Sunday. This promotion came with a pretty substantial pay raise as well. My wife and I discussed how my change in hours would affect our family's day-to-day lives, but we both agreed it would be worth it for the additional income. I use my time off on Monday through Wednesday to do pretty much all the family shopping, errands, cleaning, and laundry, and have even been able to make substantial progress on some long put-off home projects. I also cook dinners and prep weekly lunches for the kids and my wife. The additional income is becoming noticeable, as well as we haven't had this much in our savings account in years. A few weeks ago, my wife started griping about my new job. She hates that I am working all weekend because that means she's with the kids the whole time. She complains that she goes from working all week to solo parenting on weekends. Both our kids are in activities on weekends, so she has been doing that by herself as well. We talked about ways to ease some of the weekend stuff from her, such as getting a babysitter, carpooling to kids' activities, taking the kids to their grandparents, etc. But she still complains that all of the legwork for those things will be done by her because I'm at work. She said she feels like she never has any time for herself since my hours got changed. To try and alleviate this, I suggested that she make plans with friends to do something on Monday or Tuesday nights. She tried but got frustrated when her friends were busy those nights and wanted to get together on weekends. This led to another argument with her telling me that she hates my new job and that I need to look into changing my hours again. I told her that I have been trying everything to help ease the transition with my new job, but all I've been met with is hostility and frustration. I asked her if there was anything more I could do other than change my hours, and she told me, no. She said she just hates that she doesn't get a break and that I have 3 days to myself. I started listing off all the ways I've been trying to make this easier and how much more money we are making, and she cut me off and said the money isn't worth it. I got frustrated and told her if she needed time for herself, she should just use vacation time from work if she was not going to be reasonable and help me find a compromise. She got even more mad and told me I was being an a-hole. She made me sleep in the guest room and told me that I can't come back to our bed unless I fix this. Next story. Am I the a-hole for telling my father that it was his fault he missed my son's first birthday party? My son turned one this past weekend. On Sunday, my husband and I threw a birthday party for him at a local kids venue. We confirmed the date with both the venue and our guests a few months ago. One of those guests was my father. Back when I informed him of the date, he told me he'd come. A few days before the party, he asked if there was any way for me to reschedule it. I said no, as we'd already confirmed everything with the venue. My father then told me he'd be late to the party because there was an event at his girlfriend's church on the same day, and she wanted him to attend. I should say that my immediate family, including my father, is technically Catholic, but none of us practice it. However, my father's girlfriend is very religious. Like Jesus as her phone wallpaper religious. Since they started dating, a little over a year ago, my father has been attending church with her on a semi-regular basis. He has explicitly told me he doesn't like it, but does it to make her happy. I told my father I was fine with him being late, as long as he came to the party at some point. He said he'd show up as soon as the church event was done. A few hours before the party ended, my father texted me the event was still going, and he thought it would be in poor taste for him to leave early, so he probably wouldn't be able to come. I didn't hear from him again that day. On Monday, my father called me to explain that the event went on for longer than he expected. He didn't apologize, but asked if I was angry at him, and I said yes. He said he had no way of knowing the event would last as long as it did, but that's not what I'm upset about. I told him he still chose to prioritize an event he didn't even want to attend over his grandson's first birthday party, made several other choices that led him to completely miss the latter, and didn't inform me about any of that until the last minute. All of those decisions were his, so the fact he ultimately didn't come to the party was his fault. My father is still refusing to apologize, and insists I have no right to be angry over something he had no control over. I'm starting to feel odd about this. My husband is on my side, but my sister told me I'm being dramatic. Am I the a-hole?